Wasn't surprised at all.
No.
I mean, it seems completely makes sense, but that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, it seemed like just a matter of time for him.
There's no way you can look like that in your 40s. I mean, he's preposterously jacked.
Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, buddy, this is how you know he's not thinking clear. You can't fight. I know you think you're tough, but there's levels to that, and he might be a tough guy. And there's a lot of tough guys, and I know he walks barefoot and takes hits laying down and does enemas, and he's tough in his world. There's levels to toughness, dude.
Looks like Joe Rogan has officially broken his silence about the Wild Liver King circus, and according to him, this muscle-loaded caveman won't be skipping out on prison anytime soon. Brian Johnson, the guy everyone knows as Liver King, definitely didn't have himself a royal kind of week. He just got sprung from a Texas county lockup on Wednesday after dropping 20 grand on bail like it was pocket change. So what exactly landed him behind bars? Turns out, threatening Joe Rogan wasn't his smartest move. Not even close. Rogan straight up told the cops he felt genuinely scared by Johnson's loud and proud chest thumping online. All that tough guy talk and those big let's brawl challenges he was throwing around like some caveman chucking raw meat. Police weren't playing one bit. They scooped him up fast, like a cold DoorDash order, right from the Four Seasons Hotel in Austin, where Mr. Primal was living large until, well, he wasn't anymore. Now, if Rogan's right about things, the only kind of ancestral living Liver King's about to experience is sharing a tiny cell with some dude named Bubba.
Oh, Rogan, we don't have to make videos to pretend anymore. All of this is happening. We're coming to you. I've challenged you man to man to a fight.
And after getting out, Liver King didn't exactly disappear into the woods to meditate or reflect. Nope, the court slapped him with a heavy restraining order, forcing him to stay at least 2 full football fields away from Joe Rogan and his whole family crew. On top of everything else, the judge wasn't exactly handing out hugs either. He basically hit Liver King with a loud hint like, hey buddy, maybe get your head checked, and gave him 1 full week to sit down with some mental health professionals. Not exactly the primal kind of therapy he's probably into, but did that slow him down for even a second? Not a chance. The minute he got his freedom back, Liver King ran straight to Instagram, shouting to his 3 million followers like none of it even happened. And he wasn't done. He turned the crazy all the way up, barking at Joe Rogan again like it was nothing. He actually dared Rogan to jump in the ring for a so-called friendly beatdown. In one clip, this self-proclaimed caveman literally growled, "We didn't show up for a group hug. We're here to scrap. So Joe, let's break a few bones together. Nobody's dying, but hey, some bruises would be nice."
Coming to Joe Rogan's town, Austin. I was here before you, Joe Rogan. It's Texas, that's my home. All week, Joe Rogan. So when I'm like, hey, anybody know my name? Liver King. Who am I fighting? Joe Rogan.
In yet another one of his attention-hungry stunts, Liver King really thought he was pulling something slick. This time, he told the world that the Wi-Fi at his fancy hotel was literally named Follow Joe Rogan. Like that's the kind of thing that screams mature apology while he's under a restraining order. For real, who does that? Then, just to stir the pot a little more, he tried flipping the whole story, saying maybe it wasn't Joe Rogan he had beef with. Maybe it was Seth Rogen instead. Nice try, Brian. Hard to sell that plot twist when you've been out here barking threats at Joe like a caveman with Wi-Fi and no filter. Meanwhile, the so-called king of raw liver was strutting around his luxury hotel suite with an ankle monitor strapped to his leg, bragging about his bedtime schedule. Yep, turns out he's grounded from 9 p.m. till 6 a.m. like some wild kid on house arrest. But of course, he couldn't just chill. Nope, he made sure to film himself crawling through the hotel hallway like a low-budget Tarzan, all for the views. And here's the kicker. This whole circus is one-sided. Official reports say Joe Rogan never even met the guy in real life. Liver King versus reality, solo meltdown edition.
Joe Rogan goes on the carnivore diets.
I've heard about it, and anybody who's talking about this, I love it. You're helping me do my job. This is my purpose in life. And as much as it is what we eat, it's also what we don't eat. So to answer your question, I love it when people are talking about eating carnivorously. I think Joe Rogan shows that he has a transformation when he does it.
The most jaw-dropping part lighting up the internet right now, it's what Joe Rogan said himself. Turns out, when Liver King showed up in Vegas trying to meet Joe face-to-face, Rogan's security wasn't having it. They straight up blocked him at the door. And now this guy's out here literally talking about attacking Joe Rogan, which is honestly wild beyond belief.
One of them came up to me in Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of my security guards stopped him. He was like, I'm a producer for the Liver King. I'm like, what the fuck do you produce? What are you producing?
Like, how many UFC events did he try and kind of like cozy up?
He was front row at one of my shows in Vegas.
Oh, damn.
At the MGM. And then I saw him again at the Canelo fight. He was trying really hard to get on the podcast. And he's been trying really hard to get on now. He contacted a few friends of mine.
Yeah, he told me he's trying to get on.
Yeah, for what? For what? Say that more? Like, come on, this is dumb, man. This is a fucking, you ran a con game and you got busted.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that you feel terrible. I'm sorry you feel bad, because that's just what happens when you get caught lying.
But it's not just Joe catching heat from Liver King. Everyone online right now is roasting him hard, calling him a clown, saying he's washed up, totally irrelevant. It's like Liver King stepped into the spotlight just to become the punchline of the week. Folks even started calling him the Joker King now. That's how far it's gone. In one video, another big creator couldn't help but bring up the whole mess again. And honestly, I can't argue with that take.
The videos he's posted reminds me of the Joker tape from The Dark Knight. It feels like he's perpetually trying to cut a WWE promo targeting Joe Rogan here, but when he's doing these call-outs, it really does seem like an extreme threat against Joe Rogan's life, and a lot of it is incomprehensible. So a ton of like non sequiturs jumping all over the place, so it's incoherent.
Just look at this so-called fitness influencer, Liver King. Most of the time, he's out here acting like a straight-up clown for views. Picture this, a grown man chugging 4 full cups of coffee back-to-back in the nastiest way possible, all just to get Joe Rogan's attention. For real, what can I even say? Just look at him. But honestly, this clown was already done the moment his substance use scandal blew up all over the internet. Folks found out exactly what and how much he'd been pumping into his body. And it wasn't a small amount either. Some creators went all in, breaking down every single detail with zero mercy, laying it out plain for everyone to see. Even after all that, Liver King tried dropping some half-baked apology video, trying to play the innocent card, but nobody was falling for it. And it got worse. His company took a massive hit, losing a fat $25 million once the truth dropped. So much for being a so-called Sigma or alpha male, and now, Liver King's whole empire is looking shaky. Sponsors have been dropping him left and right, like hot potatoes, supplement companies, fitness brands. Everybody's distancing themselves fast. Ain't nobody trying to be tied up with a walking scandal like that. The wildest part, instead of laying low, Liver King keeps doubling down. He's still out here flexing on social media like nothing ever happened, posting gym clips and raw liver meals like it's all good. But viewers aren't buying the act anymore. The comment sections are full of people clowning him, calling him out for fake natty vibes and straight up delusions. One person even said, bro really thinks he's still the king when he's already been dethroned. And honestly, that pretty much sums it up. From big-time influencer to internet meme, all in record time. And as if things couldn't get messier, now there's talk about lawsuits creeping up on Liver King too. Word on the street is some former business partners and even angry customers are getting ready to take him to court, claiming they got played by all the fake natural hype. People dropping serious cash on supplements thinking they get ancestral gains, when all along, the man behind it was juiced up beyond belief. One creator even leaked emails showing Liver King's team allegedly trying to cover up the whole thing before it exploded. Sneaky business moves, backdoor deals, it's all coming out now. And while all this chaos unfolds, Liver King's out here acting like he's untouchable, posting videos flexing with giant tomahawk steaks, flexing in front of his mansion, pretending everything's normal. But anyone watching can tell it's desperate energy. The comments ain't showing love either. Folks saying things like, it's over, bro, pack it up. And just when everybody thought it couldn't get wilder, Liver King dropped a surprise live stream. Out of nowhere, he hops online talking about how this whole situation is part of the plan. Yep, he actually said it was all a strategy to separate the real from the fake in his circle. Like seriously, who's buying that now? In the live, he was pacing back and forth, shirt off, veins popping, holding a giant raw liver in one hand like it was some kind of trophy. Viewers were flooding the chat, asking him real questions, but he kept dodging everything. No real answers, just more of that primal talk. Stuff like, the weak fall off, the strong survive, and you either live ancestral or you don't live at all. But here's what really stood out. His follower count started dropping while he was still live. Thousands dipping in real time. People finally fed up, realizing it ain't about fitness anymore. It's just a circus. And now the final nail in the coffin, major platforms are starting to clamp down on Liver King's content. Word is, a few of his videos already got flagged or demonetized for pushing dangerous challenges and misinformation. Some fitness channels are even saying his stuff might get shadow banned real soon. One creator pointed out how the algorithm doesn't play around when influencers step too far, especially with all that wild talk about fighting Joe Rogan and showing off risky stunts while wearing an ankle monitor. Platforms don't want that heat. Meanwhile, Liver King's team is out here scrambling. They're deleting old posts, cleaning up captions, trying to make it all look more family-friendly now. But it's too late. People already saved the receipts, screenshots, clips, full breakdown videos. It's all floating around the internet forever now. At this point, the whole thing feels less like damage control and more like a public meltdown caught in 4K. Liver King can post all the raw liver meals he wants, but it won't change what's out there now. From the top of the fitness game to the middle of internet chaos. This guy can't even pass as a beta or gamma at this point. Straight up crowned himself the international clown king. And honestly, that might be his biggest achievement yet, turning into internet gossip just to keep his name floating around. Even with all that legal trouble hanging over him, he bailed himself out like it's pocket change, flexing like it's just another Tuesday. But let's be real, I wouldn't put it past him to stir up even more drama soon. Chaos is basically his whole brand now. Do I think he can win his audience back? Honestly, not the way he's moving. People love watching a train wreck, sure, but they ain't trusting it with their cash or their fitness goals anymore. He might get some clicks for acting wild, but that whole king of primal living image, that's cooked. And as for some fantasy fight with Joe Rogan, that's straight up dream world stuff. Rogan has zero reason to waste time throwing punches at a walking circus act. If anything, he'll probably just laugh about it on his podcast. But stepping in a ring, not happening. The only ring Liver King's walking into now is the next courtroom. If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. Do you think Liver King can bounce back, or is he done for good? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.